Excuse me, Sonny. Do you know where I can find some booty?
Hey guys, it's just me, Vito. Again, sorry for the last video. That was one of those videos that I just wanted to make because it touched me. And it touched me because when I was a little kid, like me, when you ask me what's so special about me, I put a lot of, nothing is special about me. I'm just another American, that wants to fit in and at the same time has to do do a job. And there's a lot of sacrifices I made, but it doesn't make me more important than the person I'm securing or taking care of. Like, there's a lot of people in life that do that. Like when you're a little kid and you're looking through a comic book, or anything, I'm trying to look at any kind of role model, and a lot of people have their mommy and daddy. That's awesome. I do too, But, well, in a sense, they're role models in the sense of setting examples, and it could be a good example, a bad example. It doesn't matter. Still example, all right. But also, when you're a kid, looking through a comic book or watching a movie or anything that has to do with the public or entertainment, or just wanting to be like somebody better than who you think you are. Which I worked jobs where it was mainly for for protecting. I just feel like this world doesn't need me, but I wouldn't mind being a hero myself. When I say hero, I use that in a looked up to as, but there's some people that are totally forgotten in history that are truly heroes. When I say forgotten, there's no record, and there's a reason why. I mean, everybody wants to be the soldier, which, who doesn't? Soldiers are bad. Be a Captain America, or like a Black Widow, or Hawkeye. Hawkeye is cool too. I would love to relate to all these, every character in the comic book when I read it, just like you guys, when you're, but there's this one character that I truly feel like, man, I understand how that feels, It doesn't make me anybody special, because what makes that hero special? No, he's trying to do the right thing, And there's, of course, examples of people trying to do the wrong thing, which they get noticed more. But being American, and types of jobs I did, I see a character, his name is Philip Coulson. And you might be like some of you are quick and oh, hell, that guy, what's so special about him? You talk about cheese? Oh, yeah, the guy from Wisconsin, that's probably why they call him cheese. Probably. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, he's probably because he is, because his name, or not where he's from, yeah, he's probably like a cheesehead or something. Wisconsin is known for the cheese and the best American cheese. Well, that's not my words. That's just, everybody's agreement. So, but no, I think he got that nickname cheese is because, personally, I think he's the kind of agent. He's not perfect. He's just one of those Uncle Grandpa, he's a clumsy happy go, just happy to be there, And he even asks you, hey, can I take a picture? Say cheese, cheese, that kind of character. And we all do that sometimes when you do security or in a point where you have to do public service. You're not seen as, you have to record you're an officer, present yourself like you're an officer, but you're not an officer. Truly to everybody eye, you're just another rent-a-cop or anything like that. But then, that's another point to get to another point. That kind of thing. And so by being, a cheesy kind of character, hey, hey, Gummer Pile, but yet the Gummer Pile did make it into, he did cut mustard and stuff I assume he did because he's just a good guy, you know. But some people just see him as a clumsy character. Right now, my cats are just playing. They're all comfortable. They just woke up and they're like, well, we just woke up and we're trying to like. But anyway, so of course there's going to be guys that are like that, you know, and women like that too. Like, oh man, I'm just glad to be here, you know. And but there's heroes that are never heard of, like real heroes. In real life, there's agents and people that were considered the best of the best of the best, but they could have been just the same, another uncle, grandpa, auntie, grandma, you know, kind of people. So, sorry about that. My cats are just running around. They're happy to be, you know, around. They're just playing around and stuff. Anyway, what I want to say is that there's going to be people in history, American history, that are not going to be on record at all. Like, they might have a small history, like they were a Men in Black kind of people. Like, you know, like they're there but not there, you know. And people will be like, oh yeah, I remember. And they'll come up with like their own little story, you know, how this person was. But they was like totally misunderstood, kind of, you know. Like there's no, like, it was their opinion of how they felt about him at that certain time, which they only met him like, they probably only met him like a brief moment in life. They already assumed, oh, you know, this. Or just by the name, oh, he's probably this, you know. Or she's probably that way. She's probably this way because, you know, we say she was. But that wasn't really, that was not really who they really were, because they're awkward people that will try to say something out of politeness and it'll be taken totally out of content by a bunch of people that are looking for flaws. And we are in many ways like the ones trying to fit in, you know. See, America is not free. There's agents that would not have like, even they would not have something, like after doing their work they would not even have something to bury, you know what I mean? Like they can't get a actual like you know how they have like a tombstone and they have their name and stuff. Well, they won't have that. There'll be a wall in Washington with a star, just a single star or a bunch of, you know, stars, and people are like, well, what is this, you know? They'll look at it and not knowing that those are agents that fell, that came of America, different walks of life. And the reason why they were chosen is because for certain reasons they died while serving our country. They put in the biggest part of all. In fact, they didn't even leave a legacy. They didn't leave like a real they left a legacy, which is our freedom, right? Our freedom to complain, our freedom to enjoy, our freedom to do what we can, as long as it's still America, not sell out. Not sell out America to be now another country, a different type of country with a different name. It's the United States of America. And a whole America, yes, it's a big thing, but keep in mind, we have to section it because of by rights and stuff, and not to be a monster. I mean, if we were truly like, if we're a war type that wants to take over everything, I mean, we would have took over this whole freaking, you know, continent, which is like also, you know, it wouldn't be just North America, it'd be, you know, which in a way it's all America, but it would be like all run by one governing nation. Right now it's like Mexico's in Central America and South America, you know, South America's down there. But are they all, like, if you go to each one, you have to go through customs and get it? It's that kind of thing. But in order for us, the North Americans, to be free, there were people that had to make the biggest sacrifices ever. Like, think of it like a martyrs for Americans. American martyrs that would not be in history books on record. They do not exist, but yet they have to. But they don't. They don't exist. The only thing you could that signifies any memory of them is a star, a little plaque star on a wall. And you have to understand that by doing this, it is a symbol of the star within all of us. That you don't have to be perfect, but yet you would be trained by the best. You can be the best of the best of the best of the best, and still be a clumsy person or when I say clumsy, like a dorky, it could have been that dorky kid or the little dorky girl, or that perfect. They chose the agent for their special style. That's why they're called special agents. And you won't even get a name. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you go really high up, like even the point to the presidents, they'll tell you, yes, we do have special agents. Like there's people that would sacrifice everything for our youth and for you to be able to listen to me explain it. But for you to, like, if you go around bashing, oh, that's my right. Well, it was their right, but their goal was so you could have that freedom. But it doesn't mean you could go around bash people, because that's not what they did. They gave up everything. I mean, would you be able to work a job where you know that there'll be no mention of you? And if you're lucky enough, you'll probably have a kid, but that kid won't know you. Wouldn't know you. In fact, other people will be raising your kid, and it won't be your last name. If it was your last name, they won't know nothing about you. You're not even in history. You're just like a Rolling Stone or a woman that just appeared and just appeared. That's it in life. That's it. A vapor in the wind. Like I would consider a martyr for America, American martyr, like somebody who was so willing to die they gave up everything, even their own historic legacy. Like people, okay, there's also an example like, Lincoln is a president that you will find statues and his face would be shown. He was a president, but also, and yes, he had, of course, connected bloodlines. But the thing is, his last name, like for himself, he lost his kids during a time where it was hard for America. I mean, him and his wife. I mean, he went through a mental breakdown because of that, and in fact, he was assassinated. And if you know, I mean, we all know about Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, he's on the $5 bill, but you don't understand that when this little kid who was like bouncing place to place, right? Bouncing place to place went out real home. I mean, he was a Lutheran child, but he didn't like push his beliefs on others, but he did want to stand for unity, And there's a point where a lot of people don't know that, but it's in the American history books, where a young Lincoln would do some weird stuff, like he used to work as a ferry, like a ferry coat, like we didn't have buses and stuff back then. I mean, in a way they wouldn't look like buses, like automobiles were like different back then. Okay, it was a different way, but he was a kid that where if you need to get to point A to point B across a channel of water, a stream of water, he'll help you. He was a young boy at a young age, like teen, to make extra money, for his daddy, for his parents and stuff, for them to eat. He'll help people get to point A to point B across a water channel. And there's a time where bandits will try to take advantage of that. See a kid, all right, let's just rob this kid, And he stood up and he got a scar on his face, a little small scar on his face, like it kind of like Indiana Jones, where he had to fight when Indiana Jones had to fight to survive, scare off a lion with a whip, But he fought a bandit, and he got a scar for it. And he was like, man, this kid's a fighter. So, and then later on, that Lincoln, like, he had respect for Americans. Like, he loved his fellow American. And in fact, the reason why he grew out a beard is because a little girl said, you would look very distinguished with a beard. And you know what he did? He's like, hey, well, I mean, kids are he knew that kids are the most honest, So what he did is he let his beard grow out. Now you see this more, he was willing to change in a way to, like, what would people like, in Americans, an American president. And he became American president. I mean, second term, the history, but but this guy, his bloodline is out there, but and he's well known, but nobody knew Lincoln for Lincoln, okay? Not even me. I could only assume he was just this great man, but he could have been just like everybody else. This guy trying to fit in. Everybody on our currency, like right, currency has our American currency has value, right? But just know that everybody on that currency was told in life that they had none. They had no value. Like, can you imagine a Washington, young Washington cutting down a tree, like, and why did you do that? I cannot tell a lie, She did, no, I'm just joking. It was more like, I cannot tell a lie. I cut down the cherry tree, that kind of thing. And they'd be like, oh, honest, all these honest people, right? And, what I'm trying to say is that people will assume about other people and never assume that your hero is always the best. Just see by their deeds, by what they do, why you like them. Because you have your own right to who you enjoy watching. But at the same time, too, just know that they were just like you, trying to fit in, They had to make their mark, And then when you hit a mark, too, that's another thing. I noticed that people talk about sin and stuff. Like, oh, yeah, these soldiers, like somebody tried to say soldiers are sinners. And I was like, no, that's impossible because sinners don't miss, If they're, well, because think about it. Sin is an archery term. It's a term in marksmanship where when you shoot, right? It doesn't mean always be a straight shooter. There's some marksmen that it's more instinctive shots. It's measurement, calculation, and instinctive. It's not really sure if it's going to be a sure shot, but by doing that shot, you hit your point. Like, boom, and that made you, that caused the person's killing or death. Some people will say, that's murder. Well, no, because, again, during a time of war, most soldiers will do what they're trained to do is, they're not going to run away from the fight. I mean, they're going to fucking stay there and stand their ground. That's what a soldier does, stand their ground. And they're going to hit every mark they can. And I know a lot of people like spray and pray, which in some cases that is effective. Sometimes you just have to pick up a weapon and just, But there's marksmen too that like solidly, they'll hit their goal. They'll hit, They have to. They have to be a trained marksman aiming at a target. Positioning, don't have to be a straight shooter, but they hit the target. And a sin means to miss your target. If you miss your target, you're a sinner. So, if you understand that concept. All right, so there's going to be those unsung heroes of America, people that symbolize like Philip Coulson, where they're in life. They start off as a kid with, kid wanting to be something, and at least I was, put their mark in life. But by their job and what they had to do, there'll always be that star on the wall with no name, with no name, no understanding of who they were, or and I'm not saying it's just boys or girl, it could be a girl too, it could be anybody could be anything. And would they look like Americans? Depending on the job. Sometimes they have to like totally not look anything like America would think Americans should, They're the special agents that they see your game. It was in a way they lost, but they didn't see it as a loss. They did it because they loved you guys. They loved our youth. They loved what America stood for, and they're willing to give up everything, lay down their whole life to not even have a resurrection story kind of thing. Well, I'm not going to say there's not in history. Philip Coulson did have that resurrection, but at the same time, lost his mind kind of thing to it, right? But he was pretty much like he died to a point where, he didn't exist. Like to the public, we would not see him like a Captain America or like a Hawkeye or Nick Fury or Black Widow, those kind of characters. He would not be seen that. Could they be a star on the wall? Well, most likely a lot of these heroes. Again, all these heroes are special agents because of the special things they could perform. They're specially trained for special situations, and not all of it looks they're not going to look like regular Americans. They're not. They could get shot. They could get taken down. They won't be a burial because sometimes in their situation, the bodies could be mistaken for somebody else's body, and they won't get a proper burial, or even, they're just another star, another plaque to symbolize, And it could be from law enforcement to anybody. We could be, Americans could be anywhere, anyone, anything. That's what's cool about America. Because we're a melting pot. This is a giant thing of gumbo. Also, I want to say too, like when you ask somebody like me, who's your favorite branch of military? And automatically people think that since I come from my dad Army and my mom Air Force, I'm going to choose either one of those. But no, I can't answer that. I can't answer that question the way you want me to do it. Because to answer that kind of questions, like who serves the best gumbo, And I'm just kind of kid, like I'm just glad I'm in the area that they serve it, And in fact, if I get served, I'm just glad I get a little taste, or that you have the freedom to even be at the window, Oh man, that gumbo looks pretty good. It smells good. You smell that gumbo? I'm using that term gumbo because that's where we all come from. If you know your American history, you'll understand. Like we all come from a gumbo, and I know people are going to try to analyze it to the point, but deep down they know it's true. Why do you think your mouth if you love gum? I mean, if you smell that gumbo, that Creole cooking, or that Popeye chicken style mentality, and know that you're just loved, by a culture that welcome you no matter what. Doesn't mean you're Cajun. Well, to a Cajun, what is gumbo, right? See, that's another thing too. That's a trick question. How those people man, you ain't Cajun. They go around. You ain't this. You ain't redneck. Which a Cajun, a person of gumbo, would not they'll understand gumbo, that they don't judge you from your skin color or for your attitude and stuff, because we all come from different types. They're the kind that will ask their mom or their grandmammy what do you mean by this? Well, he was just being foolish, Oh, I understand. I get it now. And then you start saying, oh, no, don't mean, don't be that foolish. Just try to be, oh, yes, mom, that kind of thing. Like a love, Have your love for your parents. But at the same time, if you get heartbroken by them, just stay at that, distance yourself. But at the same time, just hope for the best like they do, Because we all walk in life. And I'm already at 22 minutes. I apologize, guys. Alright, but I do look up. If you want to ask me who's my true heroes, it's the ones that sometimes I feel but I can't. I mean, most people be like, nope, because you have a name, you can't do that. Well, that's another thing too. They had names, but for America's sake, for America's, for the sacrifices that had to be done for America, they had no name. they were just a little star, an unnamed star, just how we see you guys. You don't know what's going to happen, and I'm just saying that America does not have this one. It shouldn't have not one image of what Americans should look like. If it was to be an image, a true image of what American hero would look like, would be a single star on the wall. And what is the star? And I think a person I came across, and he probably not. This is how well known I am. He would not even know who I am, or even remember what he said. But I was like, there's a in Living Color. I used to watch In Living Color, and while working as an usher at a certain place, I seen a guy named Martin Wayans. Okay, he came in, and he was doing this thing, and I know I was like, I went up. We're dumb. We're dumb. This is the only time I ever asked for a picture.